How's it going, guys? I'm really excited because I purchased this Zelos Swordfish back when it was on pre-order from the Zelos website, and it's a really great micro brand. And I was able to get it at the pre-order price, which I'll throw up a link to the webpage. But now they're selling for $349 US. I got it for $300 US. But because I'm in Canada, with the exchange and the import duties, when it did get shipped from Singapore, it was around 400 Canadian actually. So I'll roll the unboxing real quick, and then I'll get back to my initial impressions of this watch. Okay, so here's the Zealous box, and I know Elgin, who's the owner of the company, does a really nice job with the presentation. So I'll just get this out of the way. So you guys can see it's a really nice wood grain box. This is the nicest and heaviest watch box that I've seen actually. And then you open up, oh wow. You're greeted with this really nice travel leather watch roll. That's pretty sweet. Alright, so let's talk about what you get in the box. First off, you get the Zelos warranty card. And it's metal, it's almost like a bronze, which is really cool actually. And then you get this really nice vintage leather strap. I wonder if there's any branding on it. Unsigned buckle, but feels really stiff. Feels like it's good quality. And then finally, oh wow! So this is the watch right here, guys. The Zelos Swordfish. Yeah, it looks like it's in really good condition. So what I'm going to do now is just I'll take all the plastics off, and I'll give you my quick initial impressions of this watch. Okay guys, so now I want to talk about the specs of this watch. I can throw up what's printed on the website, but I'll just give you a brief overview and discuss each one of these in more detail through the video. But starting off with the dimensions, it's sized really well at a 42 millimeter case diameter. And then from lug tip to lug tip here, it's 48 millimeters. The thickness, I measure it at 13.5 millimeters, although the website does mention that it is slightly slimmer. And then the lug gap for the bracelet's 22 millimeters. So very nice proportions. And just designed really well overall. And then aside from that, it's a very durable sports watch, 300 meters water resistance. The crystal here is sapphire. I don't know if there's an AR application or not, but you can kind of see my studio lights are picking up some reflections. That being said, though, it's highly visible. I mean, just with those huge sword style hands, and just the way the indices are laid out, it's very visible and very nice. The bezel here, it's 120 click unidirectional bezel. Not only that, It's ceramic, it's slightly brushed, I think you can see this typing pattern, and it's fully loomed as well. And it's very grippy too. I love how they designed it. Just listen to this bezel action. And there's no backplay either. So it's really easy to grip. I really enjoy it. What else can I say? Yeah, I mean, the design of a case too is really unique. There's just all these like different angles and different surfaces they're mostly brushed, but then you have some really nice polished accents as well, like on the crown guards, and just some really nice bevels to the lugs that are polished and then contrasted with that brushed finish. The case is fully 316L stainless steel. You do have a really nice signed crown as well, and it's deeply etched in there, the Zelos logo, and it's gnarled very well as well. So it's very easy to grip and unscrew. Get a very nice satisfying pop. And then this houses the Seiko NH35 automatic movement. So it does have hacking. You can hand wind it. It's about a 42-hour power reserve with this movement, and it operates at 21,600 beats or vibrations per hour. So it's a workhorse movement. They do also offer Swiss ETA movements at a higher price point. I think it's a ETA 2892 that has a date aperture at the 6 o'clock instead of this one. But honestly, that's like an extra $300, and I think you're getting a really, really remarkable value right here. I'll zoom in on the watch now too, just so I can give you a little bit more close-up layout of this beautiful blue sunburst and sandwich dial. Okay guys, I've kind of zoomed in on the dial. From this angle, I don't know if you can really see the blue sunburst, but it's definitely there. What I really like is the sandwich dial that it has. So the hour markings you can see are just slightly recessed below the actual blue sunburst dial. And they're completely filled with C3 superluminova. And then the outside chaptering has yellow markings that complement the second hand. And the chaptering, the handset, and the ceramic bezel are all filled with either C3 superluminova or BGW9, I believe. So it's outstanding loom and great low light visibility. And I'll throw up a loom shot in a second so you guys can see just how well they've done it. It's actually probably some of the best loom work I've seen on any dive watch. So after seeing the dial and the amazing loom it has, I'm going to flip it over too, and I'll show you guys the case back, and I'll talk a little bit about the bracelet as well. As you can see, it's a very nicely etched in swordfish. And it does mention that it's 300 meters water resistant. And then if you flip it over to this side, you can see that it says that it's sapphire crystal. And then you have the production number, which is pretty low. They only made 150 of these pieces. And I got number 80 out of this lot, which is a nice even number. Also, check out a nice feature here. You have solid end links on this bracelet. And the bracelet itself, I gotta say, it's fairly unique as well, and I really enjoy it. Look how well everything articulates on this bracelet. It's just super comfortable as well. It conforms to your wrist so well. And just the way it plays with the light, it shimmers depending on the angle that you have it at. It works really well. And then with this clasp is actually, it's pretty beefy, but I enjoy it very much actually. It's a good counterbalance because the watch itself, the head of the watch, is a little beefy too. So what you have here is a really nice double push button deployment. Nice milled piece here that locks in. really easily. And then here you even have a sliding out, and this is an incremental diver's extension as well. So on the fly you can really adjust it. You also have micro adjustment holes here too, but I will say as a negative, these micro adjustments don't actually really work. You can only really slot it into that first pin there. These other two pins, I don't know if you can tell, and this was mentioned in another review I noted, but it just kind of steps inward, and if you try and slot the bracelet into those other two pins, what will end up happening is that this one link here will become immobile, and it'll be held at a really weird angle, kind of like this, and you won't be able to use it. So you're really going to have to rely on sizing with individual links, which they give you plenty of links that are potentially removable, and they're all screw links too. Yeah, there you go. So I removed a few links to fit to my wrist, and the fit is actually really, really good. I'll throw a wrist shot on in just a second. And there's a wrist shot for you guys. So you can see, look how the bracelet just shimmers on wrist, and just look how well it conforms to your wrist as well. I gotta say, the wrist presence is there because it is slightly beefy with 13.5 millimeter thickness, and then also a fairly big clasp. I forgot to mention, it's signed Zelos, and it's also brushed well too. That being said though, it wears very comfortably. It does have some heft to it. I actually weighed this, and on bracelet, it weighs in at 195 grams, probably closer to 200 if you account for all the links, because I did remove a few, as I mentioned. But overall, guys, my impressions of this watch are really, really great. And I will wrap up and say, like, for the amount of money you pay, it's an incredible value. And I know, I mean, this particular one and some of the other dial variants using the Seiko NH35 movements have been sold out on the website. I mean, you might find them on the gray market, but I mean, I also want to mention they still have the ETA Swiss movements of these watches available on their site, and it's about $300 more than advertised. But I gotta say, guys, I'm really impressed. My first overall impressions are really good. You know, if there were any negatives, I might just, it's mostly related to the class, as I've already mentioned, with the lack of micro adjustment, and some people might be turned off by the size, but for me, I personally enjoy it a lot. And I'll probably do a follow-up video down the road once I've owned this piece for a little bit more time. But that's it for now, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next video.